Hi there, this is Tom from FetchMasters Dog Training in Denver, Colorado. Over the last few days, I have had a number of discussions with people about the use of treats, and I thought it would be a good idea to, immortalize some of these concepts that we talked about in a video so that it can be of help to other people. So our company focuses on training uh, positive gun dogs. So hunting dogs that are trained positively without the use of shock collars, choke chains, pinch collars, heavy-handed techniques, that sort of thing. And we also specialize in training high drive pet dogs in difficult, highly distracting environments. And so I think that we have come to a really good understanding of the proper use of treats, the limitations of treats, and that sort of thing. And I think we've gained some credibility regarding our knowledge in this respect. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with my comments and theories on it. So there's four misconceptions that we tend to see over and over uh, regarding treats. The first one is this: that positive training means treat training or food training. And the truth is, that is a very outdated and incorrect view of positive training. Positive training does not mean treats. Um, in fact, positive in the sense of positive reinforcement means reward. And there are lots of things that are rewarding to a dog. Anything the dog wants, needs, or likes can be a reward. It could be getting to go sniff in a field. It could be fetching a bumper. It could be play, playing tug, playing a game of chase with you. It could be getting to go out in the backyard and play with another dog. A reward can be all kinds of things, and you can link all kinds of things, all kinds of different rewards to a dog's behavior in order to train that dog. Treats are an early behavior acquisition tool, if you will. I mean, the way we use treats is we use it to elicit a behavior that we want to capture or shape or form, and train that behavior. Once that behavior is trained, the way that treats are used after that is um, it's not complex, but it varies. So for some dogs, treats are a currency. There are dogs that are so motivated that maybe you can call them off a rabbit with a treat. But that's not most dogs. So if a dog is really, if that's all a dog cares about is treats, and that is rare, that is very, very rare. I've seen very few dogs in almost 9 years of training that's all they care about is treats. But I have seen a couple that's all they'll really work for. So if that's all a dog cares about, then yeah, I mean, that dog may require treats as a reward for a long time, maybe forever. Um, but for other dogs, treats is not the highest value reward they can have, and treats have limitations. So other kinds of rewards need to be used, and there's some more advanced concepts in positive training, like the pre-mac principle, and some variations of that FetchMasters has sort of mastered or come up with or whatever. But there's other things that determine a dog's obedience or compliance, if you will, as well. Relationship, um, all kinds of things. So treats, positive does not mean treats. Positive just means rewarding, and that can take a lot of forms. The second misconception we come up against is people who have spoken to e-collar trainers, um, and we'll be talking to them in a sales call, and they'll say something like, "Well, I don't want to have to carry around treats. That's bothersome." The truth is, a few treats in your pocket take up a lot less room or it's a lot less obtrusive than a shock collar remote. Um, it's no big deal to throw a couple of treats in your pockets. Now, I will say that I'm not a fan of treat pouches in general. They become sort of a signal to the dog that you need to listen to me. And then when the pouch isn't there, the dog doesn't want to listen. That's a common phenomena in positive training, I think. But as far as treats being harder or more difficult or worse to carry around than a shock collar remote, I disagree. Sorry, my notes are on my little tablet over here, so that's why I'm looking over there. Another misconception is that dogs should be weaned from treats right away and quickly. Here's the thing: a lot of positive trainers at first blush would agree with that. Yeah, start the dog on treats and then wean him. But a guy asked me the other day, he says, will my dog be weaned from treats by the end of level 1 obedience? And I tend to be a little bit blunt in the way I answer these questions. And so I asked him, I said, well, let me ask you this. Will you be weaned from working for money at your job in 2 weeks? And he thought for a second, and then you could see the light click on in his head. Dogs are animals. And for animals, they have very few concerns in life. There's very few things that they really need to survive. Food is one of them. And so they're very closely tied to food. So that's why I say food is a currency for dogs. So on the one hand, the notion of, my dog must be weaned from treats, no more treats. That's not really a correct way of thinking about dog training or about positive training. Yes, you can randomize treats, you can give them at various intervals, but you don't have to be in some massive hurry to wean a dog from treats completely. It's not necessarily practical for many dogs, and it's not even really correct thinking, in my opinion, about the meaning of food to dogs. Now, I have another answer for that question that's a little bit different. Yeah, your dog's probably going to be weaned from treats shortly after level 1 obedience if they're training with FetchMasters. And the reason why is because in the environments that we work in, they're very high distraction environments, and we need a reward system that is of higher value than what most dogs consider most treats. So we rely heavily on some more advanced principles of positive reinforcement type training. We want ultimately for the dog to be rewarded by what he wants. If the dog wants to go sniff, then we'll use that for a reward. If the dog likes to fetch a bumper, we'll use that for a reward. If the dog likes to play, we'll play with them as a reward. We want to substitute real world, real life rewards whenever we can. And that's a big part of the weaning process and a big part of the dog coming to the realization that, hey, the words that come out of your mouth are the doorway through which I access the things that I want, like, and need, the things that I love. And that goes a long way towards weaning. The fourth thing that I wanted to address is this comment. A gentleman asked me, and he doesn't know much about positive training. He's a real nice guy, and I hope to work with him in the future. But he asked me, he goes, I don't see how I can fiddle with treats. This is my words, as best I can remember. He says, I don't really want to have to fiddle with treats when I'm in a duck boat hunting with my dog. Am I always going to have treats there? And again, a lot of people, when we train their hunting dog and we give that dog back to them and demo it for them, they're shocked to find that dog never gets a single treat. Almost all of the hunting dogs we train, their reward is if they're steady in the duck boat, they get to go retrieve the duck. Or um, if they're steady while we shoot the bird, they get to retrieve the bird. So the reward system for hunting dogs typically has nothing to do with treats unless the dog is really poorly selected. If people select a dog that has no retrieving drive, no real hunting instinct, yeah, I mean, you might make a semi serviceable hunting dog out of it using treats, but you're not going to get a high quality dog. A high quality hunting dog has certain drives and they don't require treats. They require that those drives or motivations that they inherently have be fulfilled, um, in exchange for cooperating with you. So that is the answer to that is no, you don't have to fiddle with treats while you're in a duck boat or a duck blind or out in a field hunting. And as that translates to pet dogs, we also teach pet dogs, if you're hiking with your dog or camping with your dog, you build in a different sort of reward system. The dog gets to go out and explore with you. It gets a little freedom if it comes when you call. There's a lot of things that we build in, but compliance with high drive dogs is not based on treats typically. Treats have limitations. A rabbit running across the field is of way higher value than a treat for 99% of dogs. And so there are trainers out there who may use treats heavily long term. In my opinion, it's either a lack of know-how or a lack of creative thinking or a lack of effort. I'm not sure exactly, but most dogs will be compliant without treats, with positive training, if you know how to train them and you're observant and you figure out what they like and what they want and use that for a reward system. One final note, there are trainers who believe that a dog shouldn't have to do what you ask to get what they like, need, or want, that um, they shouldn't be forced to work, you know, for things they love. Um, I disagree with that vehemently. The animals are hardwired to use their behavior to acquire what they want, like, or need. They're hardwired. Every animal does. A shark doesn't just sit in the ocean and have, fish, seals swim into its mouth. It has to go out and hunt them and find them and ambush them. They're an ambush predator. They have to work to get their food. A killer whale doesn't get a seal or a walrus or whatever. They don't get it off of it doesn't jump and swim into their mouth. They have to figure out how to get it off the ice flow and tip it into the water and then work as a team and get it. It takes work. A lion has to hunt to catch its prey, and on and on and on. Uh, Animals are hardwired to work to get what they want, like, or need. And so, using more of a real life reward system where if you do what I ask, you get what you want, that actually, in my opinion, ties nicely into the very nature of animals in particular, or animals in general, and dogs in particular. You can agree or disagree. Um, all I have to say is if you disagree, then show me what you do and that it works in the kind of environments we work in. So, anyway, I just wanted to share these things with you. I hope it's helpful to someone. Um, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. It's Friday, and I'm looking forward. Take care. Again, Tom from FetchMasters. Feel free to visit us at www.fetchmasters.com.